All right, what's up? How y'all doing? Good to see you. Greetings. And welcome back to Blackburn News. I don't know where everybody's at, but okay. I don't know if they're got new and improved ways of hiding my show from everybody, but it seems to be working, I guess. Anyways, we're live on YouTube, X, and on Telegram. If you want to watch on Telegram, you can get up in the Telegram chat and watch there. You found me, Kate. You found me. That's cool. That's cool. Okay. So yeah, we got a lot of almost at war news coverage to cover. I mean, we're kind of there, not kind of there. I don't know, not officially there, unofficially, officially, not really there. Poppy's here. What's up, Poppy? But yeah, let's get ready to rumble. And apologize in advance for the depressing state of the world. Verging from ridiculous to panic-inducing mayhem. I don't know. But we'll go forth. Here's rerunning some propaganda from the good old days in the aughts. The Bush administration, what I thought could be the worst administration I'd ever lived through in my life. It was pretty bad. Somehow Trump is trying to surpass that. Yeah. But this is pretty bad. I mean, the guy that oversaw 9/11 into Iraq and Afghanistan and into the Great Recession, that was Bush's legacy, which is I thought that was mayhem never-ending mayhem, never-ending buckets of lies and hubristic nationalism. And Trump is trying to one-up old Bush. But listen, it's been a bit surprising that Israel and its AIPAC-funded U.S. loyalists haven't even tried a little to change the 2002 Iraq War propaganda script. This is from Glenn Greenwald, by the way. Despite how disgraced and debunked it is, you can wait one generation and haul out even the most discredited war justifications. Responding to AIPAC saying, America is safer because Israel took action to prevent our shared enemy from acquiring a nuclear weapon.
To continue.
The
evidence indicates that Iraq is reconstituting its nuclear weapons program.
Really?
Saddam Hussein has held numerous meetings with Iraqi nuclear scientists, a group he calls his nuclear...
Did you say necular? I forgot what a nerd W sounded like.
Hadin, his nuclear holy warriors. Satellite photographs reveal that Iraq is rebuilding facilities and sites that have been part of its nuclear program in the past. Iraq
He's not far from
high-strength
Ross
aluminum
Perot.
tubes and other equipment needed for gas centrifuges, which are used to enrich uranium for nuclear weapons. If the Iraqi regime is able to produce, buy...
If you remember this, I'm sorry for digging it back up. But most of you should remember this nonsense. Funny, not funny, that his dad oversaw the first Iraq war, and then he oversaw the next Iraq war. It's amazing that they milked two wars. Oh, hey, it's a hummingbird just hanging out. What's up, man? There's a hummingbird hanging outside my window. It's come to say hello. They milked Iraq for two wars in the space of like 20 years. Amazing how they pulled that off. Oh yeah. Nuclear. I think he even said nuclear physics. It's up until now, George W. Bush was the dumbest president, the dumbest sounding president. But next to Trump, he sounds like a goddamn Rhodes Scholar. Sabby Sabs, here comes corporate media propaganda to tell you they found super secret Iran nuclear sites. These clowns act like we didn't live through the Iraq war propaganda. What's old is new again.
Exclusive satellite images revealing the location of a previously unknown nuclear site. The facility spans nearly 2,500 acres, and this is a big discovery. Jillian Turner has more from the State Department. Good morning, Jillian.
Pretty explosive, Dana. These satellite images that we have obtained exclusively show the alleged site location and even the...
I just want to pause and say, if you believe this story, there's something wrong with you. Something very, very wrong with you.
Of the secret, previously unknown nuclear weapons facilities inside Iran, this, of course, raises fresh concerns about the regime's role in these ongoing nuclear talks with the Trump administration. The National Council of Resistance of Iran has collected intelligence from sources on the ground inside Iran that locate this nuclear weapons facility.
Oh, really? Tell me more.
In what is called Semnan province, far from the regime's already known nuclear
Sounds very
sites.
official.
It's
like they have like maps and names. They're here, 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 and here. This is very official. This news that they have underground, secret, super duper, top secret, double secret nuclear sites. We gotta go in there and get them. My God. The dumbosity.
Named the Rainbow Site by Iran's officials, and it spans nearly 2,500 acres. It's been operating as far as we can discern.
All right. Well, anyways, you don't need to say any more than that. You get the idea. Max Blumenthal. Old Max Blumenthal. It's likely that Congress will soon pass a resolution supporting regime change in Iran, which was prepared for them well in advance by the foreign apartheid lobby known as AIPAC. Thanks, AIPAC. You are very helpful. There's just a lot of rhetoric that is there's rhetoric on both sides ramping up the situation, which is not a good place to be. Trump calls for Iran's unconditional surrender and calls Khomeini an easy target. Yikes. Aerial attacks between Israel and Iran continued overnight into Tuesday, marking a fifth day of strikes. Following Israel's Friday attack, that surprise operation hit at the heart of Iran's nuclear program, striking key facilities and killing several nuclear scientists as well as high-ranking military leaders, according to Israeli officials. U.S. did not provide any military no, that's wrong. Assistance or any involvement in Israel's Friday strike, a U.S. official told ABC News. President Donald Trump told ABC News on Sunday it's possible we could get involved. And Michael Tracy pointing out something that Trump said out of his mouth or out of his thumbs. Says we. Trump saying we now have complete and total control over the skies of Iran. Iran had good sky trackers and other defensive equipment and plenty of it. It doesn't compare to American made, conceived, and manufactured stuff. Nobody does it better than the good old USA. Except for when our planes fall out of the sky because we aren't willing to pay people to inspect planes for safety, apparently. All of their equipment is U.S. made. So the idea that we're not involved is ridiculous. And there was a joint planning about this whole thing. So that is a lie. The idea that we're not involved is ridiculous. He's saying Khomeini's an easy target, right? Right after this news story came out, Donald Trump vetoed Israeli plan to kill Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khomeini. This is another fake out, apparently. He's calling for peace. He apparently blocked an Israeli plan to kill the Ayatollah in the last 2 days, but now he's coming out today saying he's an easy target. So which one is it? Apparently he blocked it out of fear that it would escalate the conflict, which I think is pretty good fear. Salt Laker says, you know that they're able to program the president while he sleeps. This is actual technology that exists, subliminal messages. Okay. I mean, yeah. Deline says Israel will end up backing out because Iran would punish Israel with the backing of Russia and China. We'll see. I mean, if Iran punishes Israel with the backing of Russia and China, do you think that's a good reason for the U.S. to jump in? Or that might be a reason for the U.S. to jump? Do you think the U.S. would balk at jumping in at that point? I don't think so. Let's take a comedy break from Tom Lehrer. Okay. Then we'll go back to the news. This is comedy, dark comedy. Hold on. I know you can't hear it. I know. We'll get back to it. Let's see.
Black cloth will someday never more adorn a sleeve. For if the bomb that drops on you gets your friends and neighbors too, there'll be nobody left behind to grieve, and we will all go together when we go. What a comforting fact that is to know. Universal bereavement and inspiring achievement. Yes, we all will go together when we go. We will all go together when we go. All suffused with an incandescent glow. No one will have the endurance to collect on his insurance. Lloyds of London will be loaded when they go. We will all fry together when we fry. We'll be French fried potatoes by and by. There will be no more misery when the world is our rotisserie. Yes, we all will fry together when we fry. We will all bake together when we bake. There'll be nobody present at the wake. With complete participation in that brand incineration, nearly 3 billion hunks of well-done steak.
3 billion. Ha ha. 3 billion. How long ago was that? When is this? Late 60s? Early 70s? Let's say roughly 50 or so years ago. 3 billion to 8 billion in 50 years. All right. No problems there. Thanks, Salt Lickers, for that. He put that up in the Telegram. In the Telegrams. All right. Here's an idea. Let's not be allies with the country that kills bombs and assassinates every person or group that tries to pursue peace and diplomacy, including murdering their own prime minister. Remember our golden rule: we don't negotiate with terrorists. I think we took out one of our own presidents one time.
Here's something the mainstream media won't tell you, which is that Netanyahu will sit there with Trump smiling and saying, All we want is peace. But time and time again, Israel has assassinated every serious negotiator for peace in the Middle East, including top Iranian officials that the Trump administration was just talking to about a potential nuclear deal.
We are ready.
Shamhani is one of the few people in Iran authorized to speak about the sensitive negotiations.
We can definitely have better relations with the U.S.
Shamhani said that Iran is willing to commit to never having a nuclear weapon.
He is now dead because of Israel. Quote, this action ordered by Prime Minister Netanyahu appears to deliberately undermine ongoing American diplomatic negotiations about Iran's nuclear program. Hell, they even assassinated their own prime minister because he dared to pursue peace. Yitzhak Rabin, who's seen here shaking hands with Yasser Arafat during the Oslo Accords, murdered by an Israeli ultranationalist in 1995. But the important detail that many leave out is that he was cheered on by none other than Benjamin Netanyahu himself. Mark my words, there can be no peace with Israel.
Yeah, I remember when we got rid of a president that wanted peace. So not unheard of. And who are you calling a terrorist? I think we're the biggest and baddest of them all. I got you terrorists right here. They're already talking about regime change and taking Iran's oil. Lord. Hold on, guys. It's kind of slowing down here.
I mean, for the big oil names, Exxon, Chevron, and so forth, their stocks are hardly moving.
And I understand that. This is not a good thing for them. We've seen wars in the Arabian Gulf lead to oil price spikes, but what comes after that? Recessions, demand downturns, and price drops. This is not a good thing if you're an oil company or an oil producer.
Yeah.
Now, what would be interesting is if there is regime change in Iran and you could get private companies operating in that country with the world's third largest oil reserves, gas reserves, third largest oil reserves. So there's a lot of oil there. And if Iran were to have regime change, peace and stability would be strengthened. So it's, but for the oil companies though, these momentary spikes are dangerous.
Really interesting.
I think it's the same thing for OPEC countries as well.
Having listened to Bob McNally for a couple of minutes here, you're not terribly worried yet.
He seems to be saying all this very calmly.
You're right. I'm not terribly worried, but I'm more worried than we are today. Here we are in the markets. I would not be buying this sell-off here. Okay. I think we're going to be going higher before we go lower. I think this is not over yet.
Fascinating, as always.
Oh my God! Don't listen to that guy.
Rapidan, great conversation. I'm so glad that you came in.
Don't listen to that guy. The funniest thing that happened, Milikowski, yes, from Philly. One of the things that gave me a chuckle over the last couple of days is I was listening to some crypto chat on Twitter, and some guy was like, "This is our bounce. We're going to bounce right here at 108. Bitcoin is going to bounce at 108 and shoot up to past 110." I was like, hey. Like minutes later, it was down to 107. Now it's like 103. I was like, man, I hope that guy feels kind of dumb because that was a terrible prediction, but whatever. He was like, this is it. This is our soft bottom. I was like, you got a soft bottom. Oh, you sent me an urgent message. You did. You did. What happened? What is happening? What's going on? Stomps just go up. Oh, right. We were just about to watch Terminator the other day. Should I play this? Hold on. Let me see if I can get this in here. Sorry. Do we miss the whole thing? We were just talking about this movie the other day. Just about to put it on.
He said there's a storm coming in.
I know.
Well, I guess that was it. All right. We got it. I think we might actually put it on later. Just because. All right. This is, sorry about the noise, guys. So this guy's telling you to buy the market. Some loud stuff. Yeah, it is loud. Jesus. It's an angry weed whacker. That guy's telling you to buy the market. Some guy is talking about buy Bitcoin right now. I mean, you know, I would caution to wait for a big drop. I would say wait for a big drop. Probably a really big drop. Then buy some Bitcoin. Don't buy it now. And I don't know, you know, I don't know about stock market going up from here. I'm not sure about that. This is not financial advice on any level, but you know, if war keeps escalating, I'm gonna say the stocks don't keep escalating if the war keeps escalating. I don't think so. It's bad for business overall. And we've seen some huge drops in the last. We saw a big drop. It did go up. I think we might still be at all-time highs, but no, we're not. There was a big drop the other day. I don't know. I'm fearing. I'm calling the top, but it doesn't matter. I don't have anything invested in anything, so I don't have anything. I'm not riding with Tesla or Nvidia or any of that nonsense. Yeah, buy land, solar, water, reclaim. Yep. Buy into resiliency. Anyways, when people on TV are telling you to buy the market, I would say it's a sure sign to get to dump. But whatever. It ain't my stuff. But we'll see. Maybe the AI and aerospace stocks and the oil stocks will just carry it all. Carry the day. Early April, the S&P was at 5,000 today, 6,000. Yeah, it did go up quite a bit, but there was a big drop off early in the year. I'm thinking that war is not going to be great for the overall mood, but you know, we'll see. Yeah, you're right. That was what was that? April 25th, and not so long ago. Only 2 months ago, it was. Could have bought something then and really rode it. Anyways, it's been a ride. Yep. Yeah, that would have been a good strike right there. Anyways. But now we are nearing the top. So something to consider that we're nearing the top. All right, I'll stop talking about that. This is sad to hear. This is a doctor in Gaza. Yes, head high in February. Poppy, right. Yeah, it was there was the Trump the Trump bump all the way from November to January. That was and same with Bitcoin, went way up then, and then there was a sell off. Although Bitcoin not so much. All right, let's see. Let's get back to news. American physician Dr. Mark Brunner from Oregon, currently volunteering in Gaza, spoke from the Nasser Medical Complex. Every time there's a so-called food distribution, we know there's going to be annihilation. And he says, and like so many others say, I don't see any evidence of warriors. I see malnourished fathers and daughters. I see pregnant women with babies ripped from their womb by shrapnel. I see small children comfortable in their red sweater having it ripped off and their arms completely. Oh my God. Listen to him speak on this.
It's in Oregon. And I came to Gaza with Rahma Worldwide to provide some respite care to the physicians and surgeons here at Nasser Hospital. And I came with an open mind. And what I've seen has just been absolutely catastrophic, abnormal, out of this world pain and suffering and injury to women and children. I don't see any evidence of warriors. I see malnourished fathers and daughters. I see pregnant women with their...
By the way, send up a prayer for this doctor that he might make it out of this wherever he's at without being targeted.
You know, babies ripped from their womb by shrapnel. I see small children, you know, comfortable in their red sweater, having to have it ripped off of them and expose their body with their arms just completely annihilated. And it's just relentless. It's, you know, day after day. We've been here for 3 days. And, you know, every time we know that there's a so-called food distribution, we know that there's going to be annihilation. And, you know, the first couple of days, we were seeing a lot of isolated injuries, head or chest or abdomen. But today, it's reported that tanks have been used at the food distribution centers, which makes sense because we're seeing multi-trauma. We're seeing head, neck, chest, abdomen, extremities, many, many deaths. And it just doesn't have to be this way. You know, this is something that's just got to stop. And I am absolutely impressed by the staff at Nasser Hospital, the nurses and the physicians and surgeons and techs, allied health people, and the foreign visitors coming together and working, you know, relentlessly to try to save lives. And it's just an amazing experience. One that I'm so happy that I had the chance to come here and make, but it's something I'll never forget. And I've been trying to think of another example in modern history of a medium-sized community hospital that is, you know, having to provide, you know, mass casualty support to millions of people. And I just don't know of any other example. This is a really unique phenomenon. And
unique phenomenon, he says. It's a really nice way to put it. That's a very nice way to put it. Okay. Did I do this one already? Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, while we're here, Greg Gutfeld suggests that Americans should start fresh and forget Libya, Iraq, and Afghanistan, to push the backstory of history aside and trust Trump if he opts for war. Oh my God. This is amazing.
This is a tough one. You know, is Trump's actions a violation of the Trump doctrine, which is America first? I think that's the debate that's kind of raging among the right. But you elected Trump because you trust him. He's been consistent on everything, pretty much everything here and there. He's directionally consistent. I don't remember him being for any wars. He was outspoken about most of them. So I think to say, oh, now he's a neocon is unfair. You know, he wouldn't do this unless he thought it had to be done. So you kind of have to give him the benefit of the doubt, which you cannot do with Iran. Iran is like the T-1000, you know, in the second Terminator movie. You'd knock it down, you'd knock down its nuclear capabilities, and it reconstitute itself. And so your only hope is that you make the time it takes to reconstitute longer and longer. You're not kicking the can down the road, you're kicking Tehran down the road. And it's like whether or not you want to do it now, you know, you have to weigh the benefits. I don't want to sound wishy-washy, but, you know, it's all about frame of reference. You know, Israel has the Holocaust. That is their frame of reference. This is not going to happen again. You know, if Israel was around before, there wouldn't have been a Holocaust. But then the other frame of reference is Libya, Iraq, Afghanistan. We were promised an end to that. So somehow you've got to, like, start fresh with this and try to push the backstory of history off on the side. I don't know if that's possible, you know, but, you know, if you're going to trust somebody,
let me just tell you right now,
I would trust Trump.
Greg, it's not. Oh, if you're going to trust somebody, you're going to trust Trump? Yeah, this guy is an absolute moron. Like, class A moron. How, you know, again, if you're listening to this guy and taking what he has to say as something that has any kind of weight or importance, there's something very wrong with you. This guy is an absolute nut job. Okay, anyways. Well, that's why they're out there. They're out there to be one of the propaganda arms for the American empire. Seven Seas posting this. Starlink enables Elon, the CIA, and the NRO and DARPA to beam EMF down on you so they can see your text, geolocation, and picture gallery. Elon Musk saying that Starlink internet enables education and prosperity to the least served. Yeah, that's the story they're trying to sell you. Neuralink is going to help people with disabilities. Bullshit. Neuralink is going to be forced into everybody's brain eventually. But they don't want you to know that. This is a good... I use Proton Mail so the feds can't track me. Meanwhile, the feds. So let's watch this real quick. Yeah. The feds are tracking you pretty much relentlessly everywhere you go. In case you're wondering. All right, well, here's a couple of warnings about nuclear war. Anonymous, I know Anonymous is, you know, controlled opposition. So take that for what it's worth. Maybe they're just trying to pump this narrative out there so people can just expect it a little more. I don't know. Hold on, let's see if we can hear this.
Hello, my fellow citizens of America and others across the globe. This is the architect, speaking on behalf of Anonymous. 17 days remain until we release everything. But first, there's something we feel the need to bring to light now. It may not be able to wait. This is not a drill. This is not speculation. This is a warning based on extremely reliable intelligence. We have acquired verified information that a major attack is being planned on domestic soil. It will be brutal, it will be visible, and it will be blamed on a foreign faction, one from the Middle East. But that is a lie. The operation is a false flag, orchestrated not by a foreign enemy, but by an elite shadow alliance within a...
Okay, they're not, I'm going to play the whole thing because they're not telling people anything new. They're just one of the many so many people on X and other platforms saying, here comes the false flag, and people have been saying it for several months now or years. Let's see. Here's Tulsi Gabbard issuing a strange warning. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's not necessarily blah, the problem is that it could be very much true. But why are they doing this? Why is this narrative being pushed so strongly and by even Tulsi Gabbard? Meanwhile, there's still a big, beautiful bill being passed. Right?
I recently visited Hiroshima in Japan and stood at the epicenter of a city that remains scarred by the unimaginable horror caused by a single nuclear bomb dropped in 1945, 80 years ago. It's hard for me to find the words to express what I saw, the stories that I heard, the haunting sadness that still remains. This is an experience that will stay with me forever. Yet this one bomb that caused so much destruction on Hiroshima was tiny compared to today's nuclear bombs. The bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima had a yield of just 15 kilotons of TNT, whereas today's nuclear warheads range in size from 100 kilotons to over 1 megaton. A single nuclear weapon today could kill millions in just minutes. Just one of these nuclear bombs would vaporize everything at its core. This is the reality of what's at stake, what we are facing now. Because as we stand here today, closer to the brink of nuclear annihilation than ever before, political elite and warmongers are carelessly fomenting fear and tensions between nuclear powers. We must reject.
Who are the warmongers? Like, aren't you the director of the? Aren't you the director of the DNI? Like, you're talking about these people as if they're outside of your organization. It's weird. It's weird. Let's see. By the way, guys, if you like the show, if you like this show coming to you for free, $9.99 Monday through Friday, and you want to see the show continue to come to you for free, $9.99 Monday through Friday. Really good way to do that is to contribute to the show. There's lots of links in the description box. All the usual suspects are there. PayPal, Venmo, CashApp, Zelle, Buy Me a Coffee, Ko-Fi. Patreon, Substack, all that. Many of you support the show on a regular basis. You know who you are, and I appreciate you. Let's see. Let's see. She looks very earnest. Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Psyop Gabbard. A beautiful surprise has been planned for tonight. This is the Iran Twitter account. What does this mean? I don't know. This is from earlier today.
أنا أعلان الجهاد لبيك يا حسين. اليوم ليس الحسين فريدا وحيدا طريدا ومحجورا بين الأشقياء. نحن مدافعون عن حرم هذا الله. والله والله لنقاتلنكم ولنذبحنكم ولنصدمنكم ونجزي عن حالة من دمائكم.
All right, so this is Iran. They've been, doing this for days, threatening to send all the bombs to Israel, and they have been bombing them. That really has been happening. I don't know if it's going to get worse or escalate, or if they have some bomb they haven't used yet. I don't know. I'm, not looking forward to whatever that is. Although some people might be cheering at Israel finally getting some kind of pushback, from somewhere. I don't know. Sucks that, that's what it takes to stop psychopathic people. More bombs and violence. But you're not really gonna protest your way out of that one, I don't think. All right. Oh my God. I'm exhausted. It's just looking at all of this. I don't know about you. This is, I don't know who this is, but he's saying there's going to be a surprise from Israel. Sorry.
You're going to see some surprises on Thursday night and Friday that will make the beeper operation almost seem simple. We've pulled off a number of surprises. When the dust settles, you're going to see some surprises on Thursday night and Friday that will make the beeper operation almost seem simple.
Okay, did you hear that? He said Thursday or Friday, you're going to see something that makes the beeper. Remember when they blew up all the pagers? He said you're going to see something that makes the beeper operation look simple. That's scary. Yeah, Denver Attaway is strategically, Iran can flood the zone with cheap drones because each projectile of the dome costs a lot more. Yeah, it costs. Each of those interceptors are like $20 million or something a piece. That's a lot of money. That is a lot. All right. Let's see. Israel's Samson option has been apparently, we're going to just take this at face value that these documents are real and that these aren't altered and that this isn't some Israel's Samson option revealed if Israel is losing the war, they will target everyone with nuclear weapons. Los Angeles, New York, Colorado are on the list as well. I actually think so. I don't know. I don't know if this is. So they've got a lot of targets in Iran, Syria, Lebanon, Gaza, Egypt. Also Russia, US, European destinations. China. Okay. Apparently this is a translated from this document. Okay, I don't know. I personally think that is part of the blackmail that they have, that part of the power, the hold that they have on politicians already, is I believe that they have nukes planted everywhere. And nukes, they have them planted everywhere, but the people they're trying to control do not know where they are, or don't really know what's going on. So whenever Donny or somebody gets out of line, or they think they might be wavering, or they just remind them that there's a small tactical nuke planet. You don't know where it is, but we do. And if you really want to go toe to toe, we'll just light one of these off and we'll see what happens. Like, I think that's the it's not just pictures and video of diddling. It's strategically placed small nuclear weapons. But I don't know. All right, man, it's been a day. It's been a depressing one. Trying to give you all the news that's fit to print, and also that they will allow me to show to people. I don't know. I know there's a lot more watching than they are telling you are watching. It's not me being weird and paranoid. I know that is for a fact. It's just their way of making sure that I don't get out to a wider audience. Anyways. This is something that's in the big, beautiful bill, is that they are looking to sell off public lands to fund tax breaks for the wealthy. Does that sound like ultimate sickness to you? Well, I guess that's what they're planning on doing. There's a lot of horrific news out of Washington right now, but you might have missed this. Senate Republicans just introduced a plan to sell off 120 million acres of our public lands. Let me break down what's in the bill and why it's a full-scale land grab. Janessa Goldbeck. Buried in the Senate budget bill is a massive giveaway to corporate developers and fossil fuel companies. It forces the sale of at least 2 million acres of Forest Service and Bureau of Land Management land in 11 western states every 60 days until millions of acres are gone. They aren't just any lands. They include wilderness study areas, roadless national forests, big game migration corridors, local recreation lands, tribal homelands, and sacred sites with no right of first refusal. This would be the largest public lands sell-off in modern U.S. history, and it's happening with no hearings, no debate, no public input to it. Public lands would be available for sale. This bill is a double betrayal. It sells out your access to America's outdoor heritage to fund tax breaks for billionaires. Let's be clear, this isn't about affordable housing. The bill has no safeguards to ensure lands are actually used for housing. They can be resold for other uses after 10 years. It's a Trojan horse. Meanwhile, under-resourced local governments are expected to bid against commercial developers without help. Tribal nations aren't even allowed a first shot at reclaiming their own sacred lands. The result, a Wild West-style land rush, all to fund giveaways to the rich at the expense of veterans, rural communities, indigenous nations, and every American who cherishes wild places. This is the exact kind of scam we've seen before. Short-term profits for powerful interests, long-term loss for the public. It sets a precedent to liquidate public lands anytime a politician needs to fund a pet project. Sweet. Yeah, I'm a lifelong Californian, a Marine Corps veteran, and the CEO of Vet Voice Found. I serve to defend this country, and I'll fight to defend its lands too. If you care about hunting, hiking, wildlife, clean air, or just the idea that public lands belong to all of us, it's time to raise hell. Call your senators, call the media, call it what it is. A war on the American West. Yeah. Oh, geez. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate y'all watching. People of watching on X, I appreciate you. Please like it up and repost. And pass it to your friends. And people on YouTube, appreciate you for being here every day. You guys rock. I don't know if I have anybody to thank today, or as of yet. Let's see. All right. Somebody hit me up on Ko-Fi. Let's see. I think I can see who it is. Sorry if you can't hear me. Thank you, Tor. Appreciate you contributing. Contribution on Ko-Fi. Rock on. Tor is a very consistent contributor to the show. Appreciate you, man. All right. I think that's it. Thanks, guys. I will see you tomorrow at the regular time of 12 p.m. Pacific. It's been great. Enjoy the rest of your days if you can. The rest of your day, not days. Didn't mean to do that. Enjoy the rest of your day. Try and stay away from the super horrible news and do something fun. All right. Peace. And chicken grease, as they used to say.